Don't be fooled. It may look as if this is all done and dusted, but it definitely isn't. OpTic Gaming are first at 4-0, Enigma 6 right behind them at 3-1. Red Reserve at 1-3, Team Elevate 0-4. Now, there are still some twists that could potentially happen to the plot this weekend. If Enigma 6 is to come out in 3-0 OpTic Gaming and obviously win their other game today, they will take that #1 spot. For Red Reserve and Team Elevate, that battle for third is still ongoing. Of course, third place gets you that spot at COD Champs. And as well, Red Reserve potentially could maybe finish second if they have a fantastic day. But we'll take a look at our schedule now, and you'll find out all those games as they come through. Elevate versus OpTic Gaming to kick things off. Enigma 6 versus Red Reserve. Red Reserve versus Elevate at 5 p.m. And to close out the day, Enigma 6 versus OpTic Gaming. Obviously, guys, we've seen the group standings as it is now. Teep, I'm going to start with you. Do you see any way it changes throughout the day, or is kind of what we have now what you're expecting to finish with?
I think we will finish with these same sort of standings, but these games have been pretty close overall. I think Elevate does have somewhat of a fighting chance. They need to take maps early, though. The first series versus OpTic Gaming, yes, they did get 3-0'd, but it was a pretty close 3-0. A lot of those maps, they were fighting hard. They have glimpses of individual performance, and they just need to pull through here.
Merc, any upsets today in your mind?
I don't think so. I don't know. If there's going to be anyone, I think it's Red Reserve. We're going to see how they're going to play in matches 2 and 3. We talk about momentum and how important it can be. If they win that match #2, well, they can carry that over to match #3, and they put a lot of pressure on E6 for that second place.
Of course, here's a look at our map pool for the first series. Apathy, does Elevate stand a chance of keeping their dream alive? Or can they try and beat OpTic Gaming in this one, in your opinion?
Honestly, I can see Elevate taking Breakout Hardpoint and Throwback Search and Destroy. It's probably going to be extremely close, but I feel like they're really strong on those maps. I really do.
Last time we saw these two teams play, of course, it was a 3-0, but the maps were pretty close. I believe we can set it down now to our fabulous casters for the series. It's Bucket and Chance.
Thank you so much, Benson. It is so awesome to have Apathy here in the booth today. But I got Chance casting with me, and Chance, this is a rematch from yesterday. And out of all the teams that played OpTic Gaming, Elevate may have given them the toughest time.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 seed versus the 4 seed, it doesn't sound like it's going to be close, but I think there's a lot of potential for Elevate to pull off this upset. They're playing for a lot. Again, they got to fight for that 3rd seed. They're trying to avoid getting relegated at all costs. They need to get the champs. And of course, OpTic Gaming, they're the #1 seed. They're good. They've qualified. They're guaranteed top 2, so nothing for them to worry about.
If you look at OpTic Gaming's weaknesses so far in this tournament, it has been their slow starts at the beginning of days and at the beginning of matches. Now for Elevate, their weakness has definitely been their hard point, which is OpTic Gaming's strength. And Elevate, their map against Enigma 6 on this breakout, they got blown out. Yeah. It was 250 to just 123. So they're going to need to turn up this time around. They have a nice start here against OpTic Gaming. The question for me is, who is going to catch up to Reedy? Already 5-2. Are we going to see Watson or Rated come to game today?
Gonna have to find out. Rated has actually been pretty good in those respawns so far. Of course, Watson, though, starting off 0-3. Gonna need to turn it around. But this map is actually very interesting for OpTic. This is actually where E6 played against them, and OpTic got off to a horrendously slow start, but they ended up turning it around. So Elevate, again, that early advantage is gonna be key.
Reedy trying to lock down this wall run. There are going to be 2 defenders in position. He's going to find another kill. Reedy playing lights out to open up this day. 7-3 looking for the 8th kill. Formal, too strong.
Prim getting more kills on the board as well. 7-4 at the moment. Yesterday, again, on this map, back when OpTic Gaming was actually warmed up at this point, he got off to the ridiculously hot start that led to them outslaying their opponent by, I think it was 42 kills, which was nearly more kills than the entire other team got combined.
I think it's the biggest blowout we've seen of the weekend. When Krim catches fire, that means that just everyone for OpTic Gaming is going off. They've been taking turns dominating, and the real question is, who's going to have the best stats at the end of this week? And so far, OpTic in total control. They locked down Cell Block perfectly, but setting up first here on Graveyard is going to be Elevate. This is where they could turn the game around.
Yeah, there really is truth to the statement that OpTic Gaming is competing with themselves at this point more than they are with anybody else. Elevate, though, very nice job so far. Zed's able to pick up 2. That's the first wave of kills they need to get on OpTic Gaming to start racking up this time. And again, 37 seconds left. They could very easily come back and even take the lead. Again, though, they got to get that second wave of kills. And there it is, the clean 4 down coming out of Elevate.
all red in your kill feed. Elevate is still set up around the hard point. You have the back being watched by Reedy. He's going to be looking out for any flanks. He got raided on the opposite side of the map, though, watching the middle. So there's only 3 defenders on this point. Reedy gets the call out. He needs to get over, but it's not in time. Scump and Formal, how many times have we seen this? They break through. OpTic Gaming retakes the lead.
And if you're Elevate, though, that's okay. Again, you saw Rated earlier on getting those mid-map cuts. He's making sure that they can set up for that next hill. They're perfectly content with giving up those 10, 12 seconds of scrap time because this hill, again, is one of those money hills you can lock down for that full 60. They got the first 3 kills on board already, and look at how far OpTic Gaming is spawning. They're spawning back all the way in that second hard point. It's going to take them 12 seconds just before they can even begin to contest, let alone get the kills and get that time.
Massive props to the whole team there from Elevate. After we saw Formal and Scump get 3 of those kills, I thought they were just going to be able to continue pushing forward and retake control of the new spawns. Instead, Elevate, they've had total control of the commissary for the first 30 seconds. They're building out a lead once again. Only Formal is here to contest for the spawns, and he wins a big gunfight versus Zed, but Watson's hot on his trail.
Yeah, and you can see Formal just desperately trying to stay alive while his team's coming from the side, and it's actually going to be the case. Krim is basically able to solo break that hill by himself because Elevate gave up all the pressure. They were so focused on Formal, they ignored that wall run, leaving just 1 defender in the hill, and of course, he's going to fall with all that pressure coming. So again, OpTic Gaming, no, they do not win the rotation battle. Yes, though, they are able to break. Either way, though, Elevate builds up a little bit of a lead.
If you look at those green arrows, they're very spread across the map. Karma trying to get back next to Formal. You see them both combining for kills, and it's going to be Formal hopping into the hill first. Crim6 and Scump looking for these kills on spawn. And talking to Apathy last night about how OpTic was able to dominate so hard on this map, he said, Crim6 simply knew always where the opponents were going to be spawning. He caught them in transition, constantly shooting them in the side and the back.
Yeah, definitely struggling quite a bit more here today, though. Krim is going to find one more, and OpTic Gaming is going to be able to tie it up and, well, not take the lead for the moment, but they're working on it. But again, you look at the stats of the team. Scump, 5 and 11. Karma, he's slightly negative as well. OpTic's story this weekend has been, if they're able to outslay the opponent pretty heavily, they get those wins comfortably. But if it's even close in the slaying category, they've been struggling to find wins.
That's the 3rd double kill we've seen from Watson in the last 2 hard points. He's come alive as Reedy slows down. Watson heats up. Zed is having a much better day 3 as well. You see the score 106 to 104. We're going to rotate back to the cell block here on our 2nd set of rotations. Formal is in the back line as always. He's looking for the attackers. He's going to pick up 1. Crim6 is going to find 2 in the middle of the map. This is total control of cell block the 2nd time around.
Yeah, and this is where things get really scary for Elevate. It's one thing if you're getting the rotation battles and you're fighting off OpTic Gaming from breaking the hills, but now you got to fight into them, and that is difficult, especially when Formal is heating up. 16 and 8 on that 4 streak, and got to keep in mind, if he's able to earn streaks, especially on this hill, going back into Grave, they can be absolutely monumental in building up that score even further.
Reedy's right around the corner. Scump waiting for him. Formal continues to punish. He is so close to these streaks, and he's playing for the Warden today. Not worrying about the Scorchers. He wants the Trinity Rockets. He's going to get bombardment here in just a moment. And then, of course, we could see a Warden here on Breakout. 19 and 8. Formal has been an absolute beast in this game, especially the 2nd half. You see the spawns. Elevate all stacked up at the Grave. They'll be able to reinforce very quickly, but the cave side has been taken over by Scump, and OpTic Gaming is now going to be full of reinforcements.
Yeah, and you can see Formal actually takes the long route all the way across the map. That's to make sure they can keep these spawns for the next hill as well. So Formal's thinking 60 seconds in advance. Either way, though, picking up more kills. He got the bombardment as well. 250 away from that Warden. Of course, though, Warden's not the most useful streak to have. That's just more of a thing to show off. So he is going to force himself into that hill. He does fall and Elevate. They won the Graveyard Hill last time. They're trying to do so again.
When the players play 8s in the back, when they see a Warden, that's normally when you see Crim6 quit out. Today, though, Formal is not going to get it. He was shut down, Raided, and Reedy clearing the hill. In fact, Reedy is going to make sure he's the only one alive. Graveyard continues to go in Elevate's favor. Now, this time around, OpTic Gaming is set up for the commissary. It's going to be on Elevate's Reedy to get an opening pick and then flood through the top. They got challengers from the window. OpTic Gaming set up very strong. Will Elevate be able to break this?
Frankly, though, that was a huge hill for Elevate just for the fact that Formal actually burned the Trinity Rocket and got nothing out of it. So they get the full 60, and they have more potential as this game goes on. Still, though, of course, OpTic in that hill. Scump. It happened last time. He had that slow start on Breakout. They were down by 100 points. He heated up, and the game turned right back around, and now he's working back to that even margin at 14-16.
Rated with the NV4, picks off Karma. Formal will trade out versus Zed. They have 2 more players coming across the wall run, but Rated is set up. There's the help. There's the kill on Scump. Now they're challenging Krim, and we're about to see some rockets going in favor of Rated if he continues on this streak.
And again, Rated, he's been leading the charge for his team in these respawns. He has like a 1.21 KD on the weekend so far, so he's trying to keep up that pace. Either way, Elevate, able to tie it up, able to retake the lead. We got ourselves a game. The first time they played, they were within 30, 40 points of each other. They can play. This can test time.
And Elevate talked about their lack of practice coming into this weekend. It seems that they are improving with every single game. They got blown out by Enigma 6 on this map. This time around, they're leading OpTic Gaming. They are just 64 points away from taking a game #1. But OpTic about to retake our scoreboard here. 187 and counting. They have 2 more defenders set up. In comes Zed and Reedy.
And again, you got to think back to those first 2 rotations. It was on the next hill, over in Prison Block, whatever the hell it's called,
Yep.
where OpTic Gaming was able to rack up an insane amount of time. So already in the back of Elevate's minds, they know, yes, they have to worry about this hill as well, but the next hill is where they will win or lose this game. Still, though, Formal has that hot hand, 25 and 12. That is very tough to deal with in Elevate. They are not on the proper side of the map.
This is total control of the center hard point. This is the hill that you're supposed to be able to challenge. Instead, OpTic pulling away massively. You see those arrows you have in the back. Once again, Formal locking it down. He's going up against Watson. Meanwhile, the rotation is going to be coming through from Elevate. 3 players about to hit the middle. Formal knows he's going to be pinched. Nice patience there by Watson. He's going to win the fight. The question is, will they get the spawns? No, they're across the map. But this could set up Elevate for a double pinch.
Yeah, you see Watson was in the back, but they had no hill control, so the spawns are going to be too far. OpTic has too much pressure. Watson, though, able to pick up 2, not able to get that 3rd. Scump isn't going to shut him down, but it's that contest time. Elevate, they're trying to flood this hill. OpTic Gaming 17 seconds away from ending this game. And again, you see how much effort they need to put on the back. Reedy manages to stay alive, but again, this hill is being contested. 3 members inside for OpTic Gaming and 3 kills in their favor. 10 seconds away, and the game is there.
It was tied at 183. OpTic in the final 2 minutes, blowing out Elevate as they finish strong. That last kill is going to seal the deal. OpTic Gaming going to take our first hard point.
And it's going to be that cell block hill that you're going to look in that scoreboard, and it is going to come back to haunt them. All 3 times, OpTic Gaming just had absolute full control. Heartbreaking as well, because if they had been able to force it over in a graveyard, well, they were 2 for 2 on that hill. But again, those earlier money hills, they're always going to be more important. So Elevate, I mean, they tried, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Now, we talked about it, you and I, before this match kicked off. If Elevate is going to win this series, it's going to have to be done with the uplink win. Then they're going to have to win this second hard point. We said Breakout, probably not even going to be close. We expected OpTic to blow them out. So this is actually a pretty decent start here from Elevate. And if you look back to their first matchup, it was just a 1-point difference when it came to search and destroy. So Elevate definitely not out of this one yet, but it's going to be tough, knowing how strong OpTic has been playing across all of our leaderboards.
Yeah, and then even if you want to take it that step further and go to the throwback, I think that was a 1-point game as well between these 2 teams. And throwback, that's the only uplink map that OpTic has lost so far this weekend. And they got beat by E6. It was like 7-2. So that is where OpTic has struggled the most. So again, still a little bit of life coming out from these Elevate boys. But then if you look to the leaderboards, you see Watson, he's up there in KD, but he's number 6. Reedy's all the way at number 10. The other 2 aren't even on that list. That means they're, well beyond that bottom half of this weekend. That's a struggle. And then of course you got Formal, Scump, and Crim6 all up on board. You got 3 versus 2 in the leaderboard.
Every other leaderboard you look at, it's basically all green and white. This one, though, showing kind of the one weakness in OpTic's game. You have Formal, who's been playing really well. Scump goes about even, but Crim6 and Karma have been getting outgunned. Before we get into that game #2, Search and Destroy throwback, though, we got to send it over to Courage, who has a quick map breakdown.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, again, they've let me back in the telestrator, whether they wanted me here or not. We're breaking down throwback Search and Destroy, this one between OpTic Gaming and Elevate. One thing you didn't actually see on that Search and Destroy leaderboard is how many plants this weekend Karma has gotten for OpTic Gaming in the S&Ds. Now, Of the 3 game types we see from OG, S&D has been their weakest, but they have a break-off they do almost every time on throwback for the offensive side. It all starts with Formal from OpTic Gaming. He spawns in, he pushes down towards lower bus. His teammates set up around here in middle map, right? You've got Crim6 top ticket watching over his teammate Karma, who's down by the A-bomb, and Scump, who's kind of lingering around middle, going to watch the flank or help pick up the pressure if they try to flood middle map. Now, the thing about how Formal sets up is, we all know how good the man is with the sniper rifle. What he does is, he first looks down towards this middle lane on the map. He watches underpass and calls out for Crim6 and Scump how many players are hitting it. So if you see Zed and Watson charge right through, Formal is getting them information. Second, he will go from pre-aiming that bottom underpass to then looking for where Rated could be in this top window. If he spots him, he'll call it out to Crim6. Maybe they shoulder peek that, try to get the first blood there. But the strength of OpTic Gaming on throwback S&D is the pressure that Formal Sniper puts on the remaining players from Elevate who are trying to hold this back lemon area of the map. When Formal's jumping up and down with this sniper rifle, clearing that lane, it gives Karma the opportunity to go for that plant. And once OpTic Gaming have the bomb planted, it's all downhill for their opponents from there. Watch out for OpTic to rely on Formal Sniper to lock down and gain a ton of information for them over that middle lane and near the bike path. Either way, last time between these two teams, it was a close round 11. We'll see if it happens again here. Casters, take it away.
Thank you so much, Courage. There is a great breakdown of OpTic setup on the attack. Now, Chance, you've been our analyst for the weekend. You've watched all of these games, and you've been keeping a keen eye on OpTic Gaming. What else are you looking for them as this game goes on?
Well, on throwback, they seem to have a bit of a fatal flaw on offense. Courage did a great job of breaking down their kind of initial setup, but if you paid attention, they completely don't watch the flank at all. They rarely send someone over to blue. They ignore that side of the map for the most part. Occasionally, they will go to A, but very, very rarely. So when they played Red Reserve, anytime they sent a player on the flank, he got through just completely easy. Yep. No one looked at him. So Urban, I think it happened at 2 separate times. Just no one shot at him. He went around back, shot 2 players in the back, picking up those 2 pieces and breaking open those rounds. And then on the same note, OpTic Gaming, they stack up A on defense as well. A lot of the times, they will just completely give up that B bomb site. And there was 2 separate rounds where Red Reserve goes straight to B, gets that plant down and back up with absolutely no contention at all.
Now, Elevate and Red Reserve are in a race, of course, for 3rd place. Red Reserve still could go as high as 2nd place this weekend. But these two teams, they're very familiar with each other, very friendly. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been sharing some strats. Elevate, of course, did get a chance to watch OpTic versus Red Reserve in their previous matchup. We're going to be starting things off, though, with Watson. And we talked about Formal setting up at the bus. Watson can do the exact same thing. He has been so efficient with this KBS.
Yeah, this is the standard setup pretty much for all teams. You actually see a player for OpTic Gaming going for that cheeky spot. You can look over underpass and get information on mid-map. Either way, the breakdown Courage gave, that's essentially what is going to be happening for this team. Karma, though, able to get first blood, and Crim instantly on the flank. I said it was a problem for OpTic, but it's a problem for Elevate, too. And that is a very, very quick round for OpTic Gaming where all 4 players get a kill.
How's my pistol taste, Zed? Let me light that for you. Round 1 going to OpTic Gaming. Fantastic defense, the flanks coming through. And Zed just got lit up by a pistol.
That's a huge confidence play as well. I mean, there was no regard for human life. They just flew as fast as they could across the map. Again, Crim made it to bowling in 25 seconds, something to that degree, and that's terrifying. If you're Elevate, now you got to be concerned about a whole bunch of different strats coming out from OpTic. They said they were mixing up this weekend, trying to figure out what works, and, well, the aggression certainly paid off.
If Watson would have hit that shot on Karma, it was so close. That would have kept a teammate alive, given first blood to Elevate. Instead, the first blood, such a big factor. Zed is going to find Crim first this time, and Karma trades out immediately. Zed continuing to pick up kills. Rated will find a 3rd. All of a sudden, it's just Formal left in a 1v2.
Yeah, Rated doing a great job to not only win the gunfight on Karma, somehow, but able to pick up that final kill as well. And that's a nice little bounce back. Of course, got to give all the credit in the world there to Zed. He took that E-Red map, or mid-map, won that first blood engagement, got that, and he didn't get traded out. He's able to get the 2nd kill as well. So huge shout outs to him.
And most impressively, that's after Formal teabags the body, shooting the dead body. Zed not letting him get into his head. If anything, it fired him up. We're going back to Watson, who is going to put away the sniper in favor of the strong AR. It's NV4 devastating at range, and he is going to be looking over Rated, who immediately goes for the plant over here at A.
Well, OpTic apparently was aware of how they play this map. You can see they switched it up. They sent 2 players over to B, something they have not done so far this weekend. And now they got 2 players going on the flank. So yes, they give up that bomb plant, but now they're focusing on the retake. Zed, though, first blood.
There was a lot of pressure on Zed. Karma was the player challenging in the middle. Zed will be traded out. Crim6 is going to be hunting for more. Reedy up in that window can pounce on 3 players at any moment. Reedy's been spotted after he kills Scump. Formal's going to survive, but at the end of it all, we're going to have Elevate winning the last 2 gunfights, and now they take the lead 2-1.
And something Elevate did very well there. After Zed got that first blood, Rated actually pushed up to the other side. He went towards Lemon, so even if his teammates that are in the bowling area, which if you plant the bomb at A, everyone goes back and sits in the bowling, sits in the bus. Those are the common spots. But once he gets away, he's going to be that sneaky player that even if his teammates falls, he's going to be able to waste time and get that round secured anyway. So again, OpTic mixing up their strats. It did not pay off, but now they're going back to Old Faithful, Formal with the sniper.
Rated had an awful day 1 when it came to Surge, came into day 2 with just a .31. He's definitely turned that around yesterday and having a pretty solid game number 2 against OpTic Gaming here on day 3. Watson, again, causing problems, is going to be able to pick off Crim6. So it's a 3-on-3 currently on board with Formal from OpTic Gaming.
And again, Formal just scouting for that information. He knows there's going to be a player top meal. He's going to be looking for him as well. I think that's actually the sniper battle. Either way, though, Karma, it's what they want to do. Let him get those bomb plants, work towards that active camo, and Formal going to be able to take Reedy's head off, giving them the man advantage.
And that's a big mistake from Reedy, right? You get tagged up once, Formal survives, you peek him again, and he's going to be able to punish. 2-2, OpTic Gaming answering back. Formal with the sniper, effective this time around. But we got a tie game. And I can't wait to see what Elevate does here. What is going to be the game plan?
It's going to be tricky as well, because OpTic Gaming so far, 2 rounds on defense, have sent at least 1, if not 2 players on the flank. So that B push, honestly, in the back of their minds, they might not be able to do it because OG's been paying attention. They might have to continuously go for these standard A pushes. And again, if OpTic just decides to counter back with that aggression, which very well may happen, OG might be able to take another round, but going to have those awkward gunfights going over bridge.
Those grenades just a little bit short for OpTic. Scump does find Reedy first, but Zed trades out with Karma. 3-on-3, Bomb is backing up. They could rotate to be here after seeing all of OpTic stacked. That's exactly the game plan. Now the question is, how quick can they get over there? Scump, player number 5 on the minimap, should be able to beat everyone to the defensive position.
I think they're just baiting out the rotation. You see they're actually kind of bundled up back in their spawn, and OpTic Gaming is going to make moves. So now we get to figure out how good the timing is of Elevate. Crim actually, by himself, is about to run straight past the player. You can't play split like that. They were just waiting for him, waiting for OpTic to make that first mistake. And well, Signet corner, it can work.
Rated calling the shots and search and destroy. This is a big round. The patience paying off, gives them the man advantage. Now they have the bomb down. They have the defender's advantage. It's going to be so tough here for Scump and Formal, but if anyone can do it, it's these 2 players.
Well, the benefit OG has is they know exactly where Elevate's going to be. Everyone always plays bowling. Everyone plays bus. The bus player is actually going to be first. Scump not even looking in the right direction. He's going to get taken down. Formal's by himself, and now you got to think you might just want to jump off the map to save them from getting too many points. He's got a player behind him as well that Rated has no idea where Formal is, and it looks like Formal lost him as well. So some unfortunate circumstances happening for these players, but either way, Formal's in the 1v3. There is not much you can do.
And this is a big kill if Rated is the one who finds Formal. They're going to go opposite directions. It's not going to happen, but we talked about payloads, how crucial they can be in search and destroy. Rated is at about 65% of the way there.
And he made that as close as you could possibly get to that bomb going off. I mean, you got to jump off when there's more than 5 seconds left on the clock, but I guess if you're confident you can just get that perfect timing, I'm pretty sure he saved the enemy from getting any points. So yeah, no harm, no foul, but OpTic Gaming back on offense. They need to bounce back.
Our analyst just went, ooh! Everyone a little bit nervous for Formal there. Crim6, though, is going to open up with first blood against Elevate. OpTic down around, trying to even things up. And Karma decides it's not time to plant the bomb. Watson checks it. Formal looking over, should find the pick, misses just wide left.
Yeah, That player just got a haircut. That is terrifying to go up against. Either way, see Formal gonna take out Rated as well, trying to get that trade on bombs. Zed's able to pick up a kill, but OpTic still with that man advantage. Watson's gonna find another. Karma, though, he is gonna be there for the trade. Zed's gonna find himself in the 1 versus 2, and he is gonna fall. You get the first blood, you win the round. Crim6 gets the first blood, and they secure it with no issue.
OpTic tying things up. If Zed wins this fight against Karma, it gets a lot more interesting. But here we go. Round number 7 coming up. Tie score. And we're going to be back on with some snipers, I assume. Rated decides he is going to be the bomb carrier once again. Watson is going to pull out that snipe. Here comes the challenge. Is Formal going to show face? And there he is, finds Formal. Watson with the first pick, could have a second here. He's gonna be tagged up as Scump will even up the numbers. Rated, trading it out. This one going back and forth. Only Reedy left alive. It's the 1v1 versus Karma, who has a camo.
Oh, Karma with the camo, you already know what's gonna happen here, essentially. Both on the buses, but Karma just gets played. He thought the player ducked down to that sidewalk, and Reedy simply wasn't there. So you saw earlier, actually, an incredibly unfortunate hit marker for Watson that pretty much would have won them the round if that shot goes through, but Reedy makes sure it doesn't matter in the end. Very back and forth game we have so far, and frankly, really good search and destroy.
Honestly, Elevate is playing so well today. They played hard against OpTic Gaming. It was 6-5 last night when they played search and destroy. Again, it's just one round that separates these two teams, and Reedy, he had a fantastic start to hardpoint. Now he's working towards his payload after a clutch 1v1.
And I like what Crim's doing. He's been bouncing back and forth. He's actually watching the flank over by Blue 1 round. Next round, he focuses on mid-map. So he's been mixing it up to keep Elevate on their toes. He is not giving them free clearance. And you can see Crim, on the flank, able to pick up one, spots the second. Now he's wasting time, baiting for Formal to come over and support him. On the other side of the map, Reedy's getting kills, but Crim gets the second as well. Great plays by him, gets that first kill, wastes all the time in the world, and leaves Reedy in a 1v3. And as you can see, there's nothing cooking for him here. So we're going to have a tied up score 4-4. And did he get killed right there?
No, I think he got killed by the environment. So no feeding OpTic any more points. Crim6 is going to get your round-ending kill cam, and he was the MVP. As he called out, he was set up to watch the flank. Not only does he get one pick, he finds a second.
Yeah, and again, earlier I called it the fatal flaw for OpTic on this map if they don't watch the flank well, but Crim has been bouncing back and forth every single round, mixing it up constantly on offense, and he's been very successful. He's gotten 3 or 4 picks on players trying to come on the flank, and that's just going to force Elevate into a game that they're not entirely comfortable with. Meanwhile, OpTic Gaming, they're going for the hard rush straight mid-map. They're going to get kills traded out as well, so the aggression paying off for the moment. Karma able to get behind enemy lines with the camo, spots the player over top, gets the kill. 1v1 though is going to have a player above him. He is going to be going against
Watson's got him.
Jumps behind and gets the kill. Shuts him down for the 1v1. Elevate coming out on top once again.
Such a difficult situation there for Karma, but props to Watson. Gives himself a great angle, finishes off the shots. Elevate clutching up 2 1v1s. That's been the difference maker so far in this search. And now OpTic, they know their back is against the wall. So many times we have seen them come back, force a round 11, and finish strong. Can they do it again? We're about to find out. Formal puts away the sniper. They want to play aggressive. You got Crim6 set up, finds 3 players attacking. That means the bomb site is wide open.
If Crim can get out with his life here, that's going to be huge. But players are going to be on the hunt, trying to find that kill. And you can actually see what OpTic has done. They planted on the opposite side of a bomb. That is normally not the thing. Crim is going to get caught. However, Karma is able to trade out separate kills, so it's a 3v3. OpTic planning on the opposite side.
And Reedy was almost the game changer there. He slipped past 3 defenders here for OpTic, and then he gets spotted. Karma comes up clutch. It's Watson challenging. Watson's traded out, so it's 2-on-1 here. Rated only man alive. If he gets a kill, he gets a camo. Not this round, buddy. Rated could go the whole 11-round S&D without getting his payload unless he gets an early kill.
And that's a great round of search and destroy, frankly, from both teams. OpTic Gaming, you have Crim spotting all 4 players coming on the flank. He's able to get out with his life and waste enough time that his teammates know that they can plant on the opposite side of the bomb. Instant recognition, it's something you don't often see on throwback for the teams to plant for that lemon side of things, but OpTic Gaming, they made it work pretty much effortlessly.
We're going to see that B hit. OpTic's going to go all A. It looks like they'll spread middle. Watson's throwing down the Centurion, so they don't need to keep a flanker in the back, but they will have Reedy there anyway. And here comes the kill. Zed is going to fly through with Rated. They pick off Crim. Defenders trying to fight through Barn. It's Scump challenging first. He wins the 1v1 versus Watson. Zed trades, raided, picked by Formal, and Zed takes down Karma. So it's now a 2-on-1. Formal, last man standing. Can he clutch this? Makes it a 1v1. Only Reedy left alive, and Reedy with the FTL jump here.
Well, Reedy just needs to waste as much time as possible. Formal has to hunt down this kill. Keep in mind that Centurion should be nearby. Actually, that did get taken down earlier, but again, Reedy just trying to waste time. Formal's got to go on the hunt. The position that bomb is in is incredibly difficult to defuse from, and now Formal's going back, but Reedy, he just made the right play.
Oh,
Formal,
man.
there is nothing cooking for him here. The FTL jump to get out with your life, and that is going to be Elevate taking the round 11 with this sneaky strat over towards B.
They do what they couldn't pull off yesterday. Elevate finishes off OpTic in Search and Destroy. And the cherry on top, it's Reedy with the drop shot taking down Formal, who was out of time. It's now tied up 1-1, and most importantly, this is gonna put Elevate with a very similar map count to Red Reserve, which could be crucial when we decide who's walking away with third place on this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, it is that EU2 teams at the bottom. They're fighting to avoid relegation. They want that confirmed champ spot. It could be very close, and frankly, Elevate, they're making a pretty good case. Both times they've played OpTic Gaming, very close games. They're able to take that Search and Destroy, and fantastic performances pretty much all the way around. OpTic Gaming mixing up strats, trying some new things. Some of it worked, some of it didn't, but Elevate making shot calls as well, even that final round. That's the first time they went to B, sent all 4 players in that direction. I think they had the reactive armor from Zed. He gets the first bloods too. Zed had, what, 3, 4 first bloods throughout that
All
entire
with the
game?
E-Rad.
Fantastic performances all the way around. Great Search and Destroy game. Probably one of the best we've seen this week.
One of the best Search and Destroys, and now we're in for a treat. When we come back from the break, it's uplink. Remember last time, it was all decided in the final minute by 1 point. When we return, don't go anywhere. It's going to be back on Throwback. It's the final day of the green group, and here in our first match, we have our G Fuel key player matchup. Going into uplink, here are the stats between Formal and Rated. Rated amazing on day one, dropping massive numbers. His uplink KD now on day 3, a 1.74. But if you look at the numbers Formal's been dropping, he is clearly the most consistent Slayer we have seen in this game.
Yeah, Rated though, I'm honestly looking at him. I think he's going to need to perform for his team to be able to take down OpTic Gaming. It was on this map specifically where he dropped a ridiculous number of kills, like 39 or 40, something along those lines, that gave him that KD. He was well above 2, like a 2.2 in respawn because of his performance on throwback uplink. So again, if he can perform well, they have a decent chance.
Keep your eyes on Rated and Formal. That is your G Fuel key player matchup.
The CWL Global Pro League Green Group continued today, and the best in the world were on full display. The action opened up with another EU vs NA matchup as Enigma 6 faced off against Red Reserve. Both teams came into the day with a 1-1 record overall, and the battle for second place began. Jumping out to a quick lead, Enigma 6 set the tone, dominating the first hardpoint and carrying that momentum all the way through. Red Reserve showed some life though, taking a late lead in precinct uplink, but a huge clutch in the final 30 seconds of the map would secure the win for Enigma 6 and result in a 3-0 sweep. The North American dominance would continue right into our second match of the day as OpTic Gaming took on Elevate. Elevate would put up a good fight, keeping the hard point close and pushing OpTic to a round 11 search and destroy in game 2. But ultimately, they could not clutch up in the final seconds of precinct uplink. OpTic took the map in the series sweep to remain undefeated so far in the Global Pro League. Elevate's shot at the playoff would come to an end at the hands of Enigma 6 in our third match of the day. Getting put in the 100-point club in the first hardpoint did not set Elevate off on the right foot, and they would be unable to bounce back from that tough loss, ultimately falling in the series 3-1. Enigma 6, however, would end the day as strong as they started it, finishing with a 3-1 record overall heading into Sunday's action. OpTic Gaming's undefeated run through the green group continued in our final match of the day, with OpTic taking down Red Reserve 3-1. Red Reserve was able to take breakout search and destroy, but that would be it, as the green wall showed everyone why they are the #1 seed coming into Columbus. OpTic Gaming looked to be firing on all cylinders this weekend, with their sights set on getting in to the Stage 1 playoff.
We're all tied up at 1-1. Elevate takes a massive round 11 to tie up this series, but now it's going to be the swing game. Who's going to take the uplink? It's been one of OpTic's weaknesses. If you look across the board, they played very tight versus Elevate. And Chance, you and I were talking about it in the break. OpTic has some holes in their game when it comes to this game mode. What is it?
Well, yeah, so we call it their weaknesses, but they've outplayed their opponent every single time so far this weekend. However, even when they outplay their opponent, they don't always get this win. Specifically on throwback against E6, they outplayed them by 6 kills, I think it was, which isn't a huge margin, but they got beat by 5. So E6 completely outplayed them on this specific map. It can get pretty bad. Even when OpTic is outslaying their opponent by 15 kills, I think that's actually what they did against Elevate. They only won by a single point.
Here's a look at the leaderboard though, Chance. And we talked about how great Rated has been in uplink. In that game that he went off, he had like a 3.0 KD. They lost. He has a 1.74, but he's the only player in the top 10 from his team. That means everyone else is in the bottom 6 players that are here this weekend. Not a good sign in uplink so far for Elevate. They're going to need Zed to continue to impress, and all eyes for me are going to be on Reedy. He's been their strength in their respawns. Can he do it again here in Game 3?
Yeah, exactly. No single player can afford to have a bad game right here, and Elevate needs to put a heavy focus on the objective. Frankly, they should be taking notes from what E6 was able to do. Either way, though, Reedy, he's able to get that nice first blood, weirdly enough, with the red dot on the K-bar.
Watson's going to find the second kill on Karma, and Zed's in the feed as well. So all K-bars all the time right now for Elevate. They do not need the SMG up to this point, and they have simply wiped OpTic Gaming to win the first 4 fights. Finally, you're going to see kills going in favor of Karma and Formal. And this is all OpTic needed. Rated last man standing for Elevate. OpTic gets a clean kill, and now they have total control of the map. Drone is moving forward in the hands of Karma.
Yep, OpTic nice on the defensive stand. Get to see them on the attack. However, it does look like Elevate is picking up all the kills. Yeah, Formal's actually going to be that last player alive, and there you go. Elevate bounces back as well. And Zed and Reedy leading the charge. You're talking about Reedy. He needs to kind of step up for the team. So far, he's looking good in that department. Again, now it's going to be back for that fight to control Elevate. Looks like they're going to be on top for just a moment.
moment.
Reedy picked from behind. Meanwhile, the drone is going to be moving. No defenders here to catch Watson. This is at least a one-pointer, and he is going to throw it up. Elevate strikes first. OpTic, they were baited out to the bike side of the map, and they get punished. Will they be able to counter push here, though? The drone is going to be scooped up. You see Karma surging forward. Scump, the lead blocker, said he's already picked 2 players, but Scump is going to clear the way for a one-point play. It's Karma who throws it in.
Yeah, Scump should never be able to pick up those 2 kills. Elevate has to know they're going to be coming through that doorway, so fantastic job by him. That might hurt Elevate in the end, but again, you saw that first score. Elevate got on the board. It's all about the objective. There was 3 players alive for OpTic Gaming, picks up the drones and runs away with it, doesn't even care, and that's the focus that they need to have. Make sure, just get those points on the board in any way you can possibly find them.
Now, when Rated went off, a lot of the fights were going down over at the field. He was able to take control of the middle of the map, sitting inside the windows while his teammates were all distracting. This time around, he's playing much more aggressive. Look where he's positioned. He is inside OpTic's base, trying to lock down Bowling. You got Watson also behind enemy lines. They are distractions, and they're waiting for Reedy to grab this drone. But the one player who is slowing them all down, it's Crim6, who's the last one up for OpTic.
Yeah, Crim has actually gone huge right there. He was able to pick up 2 kills mid-map, just preventing Elevate from pushing forward. Finally, though, they clean up their base, and now they're getting that drone, pushing it forward, going for that one-point toss, and they sink another one in as well. And again, the backbone of Rated, who is able to be a nuisance in the base of OG for 30, 45 seconds, and OG could just not handle that pressure.
Watson was there as well. Elevate is causing problems with OpTic spawns. The score, 2-1 in their favor, but Crim6 could retake the lead with the 2-point play. Will he be able to get the dunk? There's the kills from Karma. 1 defender to beat. Now 2 more coming off spawn, and he is just going to sink a one-pointer. So it's all tied up, 2 minutes still to go in our first half.
Perfectly respectable play. You saw Crim6 was debating on whether or not to force it. You see his teammates did not get enough kills without it being too risky, and just sinks in the one-point shot. No problems there. Of course, they'll Elevate on the attack. They're mixing it up. You see Reedy actually leading the charge towards blue. The first time they've taken it this direction, they got to throw the drone across the map, but it looks like it's going to be there. Watson with the beat down. Has to hit that quick one-point shot.
3 for 3, baby.
Gonna sink it in as well. And OpTic, they expected Formula to be able to pick up those kills. They did not pressure that side hard enough. Going for the reset, and now Rated. This is back to what he was doing earlier on OG's side of the map, being as big of a nuisance as possible. And now he's even got Watson and Reedy with him, picking up more kills.
Elevate is such a threat right now. They are hanging with OpTic Gaming. They are beating them here in a game 3. You have to think, how good would this squad be if they practiced leading up to the weekend? Instead, they're at the bottom of our group. They are fighting for their lives. They want to lock in a spot in stage 2 as well as champs.
Well, again, you just got to keep talking about it because it's been the biggest thorn in their side. You saw Rated again, 45 seconds to spend in their base. It takes OpTic so long to clear that out before they start pushing up the mid-map. And now they finally get there, and it's going to be Crim, but he's got 2 more players to fight. He's actually doing a really good job of staying alive. He's going to fall. It's that last player that's alive. So again, Elevate on those defensive stands have been doing it on point. Weirdly enough, the slaying power from OpTic Gaming, it's not there at the moment.
You see Erad's being pulled out. Karma has had a pretty poor series, to be honest, so far. He is getting outslayed, double negative at this point. And when was the last time you saw Formal negative? Currently being outgunned 8-12. Watson is going to find Formal once again. Here comes another one-point play. Reedy is going to sink it with 20 seconds to go here in our first half.
Absolutely beautiful. OpTic, they might have another opportunity to score, but they're going to have to move fast. You can see how much they're focusing on clearing out those players. They don't want anybody to be sneaky behind the lines, but 5 seconds left. If anything, they're going to go for that Hail Mary last one-point shot. Kills coming in for Elevate, though. It looks like that's going to be enough, and Elevate going to go into the second half of that 4-2 lead.
Give it up for Elevate. They are playing awesome here on day 3. A great first half. They outslayed OpTic Gaming. Will they be able to keep up this pressure? Will they be able to keep up this pace the entire 10 minutes? 5 minutes in, we see the score doubled in their favor, but it's still just a one-possession game.
You know, something E6 has done well so far in Uplink, when there's someone in their base, they just run away from them. They ignore them. You see OpTic Gaming, they're going a different strategy. They're trying to find each and every one of those players to get all 4 kills before they move up. So E6 runs away and scores points. OpTic Gaming on the other side struggles.
And here we have Watson and Zed picking up your first 2 kills. I believe Elevate, of course, there on the defensive end. We have Rated looking for picks with this NV4, but the drone is going to be moving in the hands of his teammate Zed. Zed is going to get by the far right perimeter. He's got 2 defenders to get past here. He's going to go up and over, and that one is snatched out of the sky. Big play from Karma. That one won't be in our stats at the end, but a massive play will keep the score just a one-possession game.
Yeah, absolutely massive. Karma was able to pick up 2 more kills after that as well. Still, though, again, you got a player, it's Reedy this time, that's behind enemy lines, OpTic. They turn all of their attention in that direction, and that allows the remaining players from Elevate to come back and get that mid-map control. They're trying to continue this as much as possible. Of course, though, OpTic Gaming, they look like they're starting to heat up a little bit in that slaying category, and that's where things can get iffy, but Watson with that overdrive for him to make a play.
Gun Scump, Krim and Formal answer back. Elevate trying to slow this one down a bit, and Krim is just causing problems down low. He's got Karma in front of him, OpTic on the attack. Drone is gonna be pushed forward. Crim6 is gonna try and grab this one after his lead blockers get the kills. Karma's Erad should make this a 2-pointer, only 1 defender, and here it comes through. OpTic ties it up, 3:30 still to go. This is anyone's game. Elevate could be right in position, though, to go for a counterplay. It seems Krim, though, has everyone's attention. Crim6 is going to force Elevate to pull back, and Scump is finding kills. OpTic might put in another one here.
Yeah, but OpTic, they just don't want to touch that drone. You know, Crim6 has been here picking up kills for 30 seconds. Finally, Karma's going to go and pick that up, and he's actually going to pass it forward for his teammate. But now they got to get the kills as well. Karma, he's just going to fall. So they had all of that distraction for a solid 30, 45 seconds. They have a player in the base, but they don't have enough presence with that drone to get any points on the board.
Now this is what I saw just a moment ago, how quick Elevate plays. They grab the drone, they toss it, they all sprint forward. Scarab is going to be out scouting. They only see 1 player behind Lime, and we're going to have Formal backing up to safety here. Formal picks up 2, Watson's going to fall, Formal finds a 3rd. He's had so many triples this week, and he's the only player to drop quads as well. And Formal is now clearing the way, his streak shut down. The drone on the ground, Elevate should be able to recover, but once again, it's Crim6 in the back line.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to cause any problems. Doing it with the Erad, doing it with the K-bar. He's doing it all right now. And again, he's kind of in that nuisance sort of spot. There's going to actually be a Watson over by Bus, gets shut down instantly. OpTic Gaming trying to brute force these points in. They're going to hit that 1-point shot, and again, on the backbone of Crim6.
Crim6 so good. Karma's going to put in 4 of the team's 5 points. And here is Watson now for Elevate, trying to answer back. They pick up 1 defender. Second one's in the window. Watson's aware. Does he know there's going to be 2 players stacked up, though? First finds Karma, and he will be shut down. Reedy could still help lead the way for Zed. And as I say it, Formal again strong on the defensive end. Zed's going to get picked from the center. It's OpTic with drone control.
Yeah, OpTics, they're going to be able to storm. You see they're actually going to be taking this blue side. It's going to be Krim. Once again, he's leading that charge. Karma with the drone. He's going to be waiting for his teammates to try and pick up as many kills. Might try and get a few himself. And that is incredibly unfortunate. That drone just reset because it touched the wall.
Yeah, that got stuck in between the walls and resets to the middle of the map. I don't think you were going to see OpTic points either way. They simply didn't get the kills. Elevate coming off spawn. Gonna pick up 2 big ones. Krim is here though, and nice reaction by Reedy. Snaps on, Raided's gonna find Karma. 2-on-2 scenario, and this drone is gonna be picked up by Reedy. Raided baiting out the players. Now Elevate's gonna try and attack as a squad.
Well, frankly, he has camo. If this doesn't result in points, he's just not doing it right. You see, he's gonna be able to run past players. 1 player trying to shoot him in the back, but it is not gonna be enough. The camo buying them points, and that is massive. There's only 43 seconds left in this game.
And Karma's very close to his payload as well. They'll look out for the camos to come in late in this game. Overdrive, always a danger as well. Watson has his, Formal has one available. And this is gonna come down to the wire. Here's Watson, can't get the 1-point toss off. So a dunk wins the game for OpTic Gaming here. You need at least a 1-point play to force overtime.
Yeah, bold play to use the overdrive right there. Of course, they do just need to waste time, and that's actually huge right there.
Wow.
Reedy's able to slide in, pick up that drone, and throw it away. OpTic Gaming are simply running out of time. They're going to have to make moves. They got to get this 1-point shot in.
Crim's in the base. There's only 2 defenders up, 3 players from OpTic attacking. Down goes Karma. Drone is down. Watson with a nasty 2-piece is going to lock this up. Elevate has taken the lead in the best of 5.
And if I'm OpTic Gaming, I am pissed off probably more than I've been in quite some time. You got to go back. Karma, he's trying to reset his armor, throws the drone into a wall. perfectly normal thing to have happen, and then the ball disappears in front of his face. I think you pointed out, OpTic Gaming, they weren't picking up the kills in that situation, but still, that's unfortunate. That can't happen.
And I think it all comes down to that play from Reedy. You had the kill advantage if you're OpTic Gaming, but Reedy was able to just toss that drone deep into OpTic's base. That slowed him down another 5-10 seconds. They get across the map, but a single double kill from Watson coming off spawn shuts down the final push. And now we see Elevate closing out back-to-back close games. This time around, they beat OpTic by 1 in uplink.
And again, big plays, even going back to that search and destroy, they were making big play calls. They followed into the uplink. You got raided. He's staying in the base of the opponent for, again, 30, 45 seconds, being as big of a problem as possible. They're doing things with the camo, hitting that dunk at the end. So he was their leading slayer coming into this, and he's continuing the destruction on uplink. But very close game. That's going to be OpTic's second loss in uplink this weekend.
OpTic could be facing elimination here. The only team that has hopes of going perfect 6-0 throughout groups here in stage 1. Well, their backs are against the wall now. Before we kick off that game number 4, though, let's take a look back at our best player from day 2.
Maven here, and my X factor for day 2 of the green group has got to be General from Enigma 6. Enigma 6 came in needing a big day. They were matching up against both the teams from Europe that'd be fighting them for a top 2 position. Wins and map count would be huge. They go 6-1 in overall map count, and a big part of this was their leader, General, dropping 2.5+ minutes in multiple hard points, going double positive in respawns on occasion as well. He was absolutely brilliant. This is a guy that at times takes a little bit of flack for being cocky, arrogant, but I'll tell you what, if you can keep putting up elite statistics like that, you can say whatever you want in my book. General, easily my X factor for day 2.
That was a look at General, the X factor from day 2, and you know that Enigma 6 is upstairs watching every single game right now. They know they have the potential to play OpTic Gaming at the end of the night and even steal first place, but first they'll have to get through the European squads. And Elevate, they are trying to play spoiler here today. A win against OpTic Gaming, no one thought they could do that. That would tie up the series with Red Reserve here in our group.
Well, here's the comfort thing for Elevate as well. They're not going into a must-win situation in the hardpoint, because as you can see, OpTic's pretty good at hardpoint. Their worst KD is a 1.07, and that's the guy that's still picking up a bunch of hill time and a bunch of defense. So, you know, top 5 is all of OpTic Gaming in hardpoint. You're really just not going to beat them.
You got 4 players. They're all in the top 5, so that means you can't just rely on trying to slay against them. You have to be focused on every second. You got to get the most important kills coming into the hardpoint. Now, when you and I were talking beforehand about what could Elevate do, how could they potentially win this series, we said they had to win the uplink. They have to win a game 4. Rely on a search and destroy to get you through, maybe in a game 5 if needed. When they played against Enigma 6 on this map, Elevate was able to win the game 250 to 123. The kills were very even in that match as well, so that is just a testament that Elevate, they can punish you on both the Cathedral or Graveyard Hill as well as Broken.
It's very true. There's always potential for that lockdown Money Hill kind of situation, but one of the stats we were at least talking about last week, and I'm pretty sure it still holds true, that on this map specifically, the team that outslays wins about 100% of the time. I don't think there's any exceptions to it, and of course, OpTic Gaming, they've been outslaying in pretty much every game mode they've played this weekend. That is not going to be a problem for them. So again, Edge obviously going to go to that green wall.
I know OpTic's going to be frustrated, but we know what we can expect from them when it comes to the hard points. Elevate, though, will they have the energy to finish this one strong?
And, okay, so if you watched OpTic Gaming this entire weekend, you might remember on this map, Formal pulled out the sniper. Yep. He spawned on the broken side, and he pulled out the sniper, and he's going to do it again. Let's go, Formal. Get you some kills, man.
Chance felt it. Chance saw it. Will it happen again? Elevate. They're going to be rushing up for the first control of Bridge. OpTic Formal is going to be looking for the first pick, and right away he's going to spot Rated and Reedy. Will either player show faces? There is Rated. There is the pick. No, yep. It's going to land. Trophy's also scoring here. And that is going to be 2 down, though, for OpTic. Zed going to be able to pick up the double kill. The pistol has to come out, and Elevate, despite losing the first player, going to come out and win the war.
Well, the sniper is definitely great to have, but if the rest of your team isn't picking up kills, it really does not matter. Elevate did a great job of making sure to duck behind the cover of the van and win their gunfights from there. So very nice start coming out. They might have been aware of the strats coming out from Formal. Either way, though, of course, OpTic Gaming able to storm right back and retake this hill. Very back and forth, as always, on Bridge.
Now, we love watching Scump. The man is just so dangerous, but pulling out the NV4, how often do we see it from this guy?
Only on this map, actually, pretty much only on this hill. It's almost exclusive as well. All the gunfights you're going to be taking are going to be super long range up until it's contest. But at that point, you're just laying down, staying alive, letting your teammates slay out from behind you. Either way, though, that rotation battle coming in, Watson is definitely going to be the player to watch. He's trying to catch those OG members coming over from that grave area. Zed actually going to be inside the hill. Watson's going to be able to pick up that player on stairs and Elevate with this early control.
Elevate has control, and we will keep our eyes on our red squad once again. If you're just joining us, OpTic back against the wall here on day 3. Elevate, who's at the bottom of the group, has them down 2-1. Elevate trying to finish off this series. OpTic, they were able to gather the most points on the bridge, but Elevate answering right back here on Lower Street. It's been a near perfect hold, and they could pull away here. There's still 23 points to gain before going over to Graves.
And this is good recognition by Zed as well. You see he's actually pushing up through Hall. Now, he doesn't want to go too far. Again, it's all about those spawns, but now he's got a player. Watson on the minimap in the top left actually loses that gunfight to Formal. So Formal, he's going to be by himself as that lone member for OG, trying to hold down in Grave. You see he's got players actually jumping behind him. He's going to fall, and that is going to be huge for Elevate to start racking up some points.
Elevate, they have the lead, they have control of Cathedral. Will they be able to lock down a 100-point lead? We're about to find out. Let's crank up our headphones here as we listen in with Elevate.
Yeah. Just want to do with your race.
Big kills. I'm going bed with whoever's here.
Just in the mid, I'm just in the mid. Big
I didn't hit him,
big kill on that guy, and we'll push.
I'm so weak, race.
Weak, Josh, absolute. He went across.
I'm going race.
One with dead, let's go.
Nice, two.
Back. No, he's not.
Smoke close, relatively close.
Come on, 1 bullet! Back left. Don't worry.
Rotate.
Right, come.
Give him streaks. Literally do not give him streaks.
That's one market,
You're going to be here.
Close on me. Nice, good trade.
You're around the back, Josh.
Killed Tom on the street, about thing.
Okay, they're going to be beyond this now, Zach.
Half low.
I think he's low, Josh. Low tunnel.
I'm going to push up into
He's
bar,
gone plat.
I can get initial.
No one's in plat. Dead. Another one coming back us. Ads.
Kill me.
I'm looking, Reese. Trying to have it. He's pushing low warrant. I hit him with 2, Reese. Hit him with 2. One breach as well. One bullet Formal. There's 3 on Reese.
Low weak.
I'm one bullet. I need help.
Watch over you.
Yeah, just get on that head glitch on the stairs.
One's push across the right.
I just one fucking deep.
I'm snaking egg.
Just sit on that head glitch.
One bullet's come.
2, got scum.
Nice.
One's weak in front, Josh.
There's one behind him.
Both weak, both absolute.
Yeah, 2 at the back.
I think the guy's going
to.
Zach, how the fuck have you died?
Don't worry.
He pushed my front.
I'm on the stairs. Fuck. Formal. He's gone into bar.
He's weak as fuck. I'm just waiting.
He's flanked. Scum coming beyond you.
Scoring across. Yeah, again.
Weak, Scum's weak.
That big Tommy.
Yeah, I'm playing my life.
Zad's pushing up P1. I'm fucking dead.
Right, just get fucking. Honestly, just rotate. Just get good hold in this next hill.
Let's go curve.
Okay, bar.
Whereabouts is he?
That's big Tommy.
Ads, come back to ads.
Oh, we can help.
He's in that Formal. I'm gonna pull a fucking knee right out. Let's fucking go, come on.
Keep up the fucking
Spawning him.
Get fucking
Bullets
cool.
again. Bedroom. Bedroom weak. Dead of nade.
Chance, they rotated early to the grave hard point. They were all set up, and then we saw the Trinity Rockets coming in for OpTic Gaming. OpTic not only gathers the last time there on Cathedral, they break away with the lead on Broken. Elevate, they're in the hole now after leading by 60 before that listening.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out the Trinity Rockets that broke the hill by themselves, Formal was able to pick up those once again, so he's going to have that. So even if Elevate get the control of that early money hill, look out for him to do the exact same thing. But honestly, those comps were really interesting. Not a lot of small talk. The only call-outs are, hey, this player's weak, this is where he is, this is who it is, but they're not talking about rotations, they're not talking about positioning, nothing like that. They're not setting stuff up. And you even saw one player's calling out, all right, just, give up the time, whatever, just go over here to set up for, like, the haul. Meanwhile, another teammate's actually pushing in a Broken and working on the brink. So these players aren't on the same page, not a lot of small talk. It's been rough.
You heard Reedy trying to take that leadership role, but even that was a little bit missing. I want to see more from Rated here. In all of our interviews, he said he's the guy who kind of is in charge of this squad, gets them all on the same page. As Chance mentioned, They were looking a little bit sloppy in that first round of rotations after our early hills. Now, as we take a look at the bridge, it's back. This is where Elevate got their first lead of the game. Will they win the gunfights once again? Watson through the sky, tags up 2, and he will be finished. Nice jump shots there by Krim. The peak shots are going to finish him. Now Krim pushing back 2 more players, buys time for his teammates. Score streaks are ineffective. Everything going in favor here of OpTic Gaming, but there's still 2 more challengers. It's Rated and Watson.
And I'm not sure if Elevate is aware of this or not, but again, you can see Formal has those Trinity rockets. So Elevate, they're getting beat right now. And when you're losing on retaliation, your mind immediately goes to, all right, we need to lock down Broken, we need to lock down Grave. But you can't do that if those streaks are in play. So Elevate, they're going to have to win these scrap hills. They got to win Bridge, which, yes, they're getting the final seconds of scrap time, but they have to win Lower Street as well. They need to at least get this to an even game to have hope of winning in the
So much pressure on Zed, who is up top plat here. Also, player number 4, Watson, inside the hill. Both players coming up clutch. Get your first 2 kills. Reedy's going to find Scump. Instant trades going down. That was a fantastic take over there by Elevate. They pushed all of the right positions, and they won the big gunfights chance.
Yeah, Watson in a sneaky spot as well. Looks like he might get sniffed out, and Formal wins that gunfight in the end. And you can see there's 35 seconds left on this Lower Street hill. Elevate is not putting the emphasis. They're trying to get the kills, which, yes, is important for the rotation. But again, they're down on time, and the Grave Hill is not shaping up to be in their favor at all. But again, they're focusing on that rotation as well. So OpTic Gaming looking good for the scrap, looking good for the rotation. Good stuff overall.
Formal is having another insane game, 21-11. Watson on the other side doing his best to keep pace at 19-17. Will Rated and Reedy start to shine? Currently, they're at the bottom of the leaderboard for their squad. Meanwhile, Formal is just shutting them down with the NV4. These Trinity Rockets will also help retake if somehow they lose the Cathedral. And Formal, he could be working on even more.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge as well, because if he doesn't have to burn the streaks on this hill, he's got him for if OpTic Gaming even gets in a sticky situation at all. But Karma's on the full lockdown mode right now. He's able to pick up 2 kills while in curve, and that's huge. He's the cutoff man, because even if he falls, he's giving information to his team, and you see Scump's able to pick up those trade kills. Right now, though, 2v2 over on the left side. Looks like Elevate's trying to go for that Storm, and there it is, Trinity Rockets. As soon as the pressure's on board, Formal pulls it out just to be that failsafe.
Everyone spawning at the top of the bridge with Formal as well. Remember, after Cathedral, we are going to flip sides of the map. Formal knows that he's going to go set up on defense first, feeling that there may be pressure from Elevate on rotation. But Elevate, they're going to battle for the last 15 seconds. So that's going to give OpTic plenty of time to set up. This is going to be so tough to break. A lot of pressure is going to come on Reedy as well as Rated here.
Yeah, and Rated actually wins a pretty huge gunfight over down that bridge area. Reedy's actually managed to sneak around back, and he's going to play it smart. Waits till he gets the information in the second player. The FTL jump, though, going to shit on Reedy's soul, and that is nasty coming out of OpTic Gaming. However, Elevate, you see the distraction was enough. Krim's going to be the last one alive, and Elevate was able to get control. So yes, Formal makes the huge kill with the FTL, but in the end, it does not matter. Elevate puts the Centurion down as well. This is huge.
First time in professional Call of Duty that we have seen souls defecated on, in Chance's words. Well done, Reedy, or not so much. Formal outgunning him, and this time it's Scump in the hallways. Scump on your screen, going to try and break through, but it's Elevate who's scoring. This is a 10-point game, 8 and counting. Elevate holding strong in the back. It's all up to Watson here, and Watson is going to have his hands full. Krim 6 is going to win the fight.
And Reedy's going to be challenging the hill as well. He's by himself, so he's going to have to go massive to make something happen. Not going to be the case. Now, we're going into this Hall Hill. Streaks aren't going to be a factor, but keep in mind, if Formal didn't have to burn that Trinity Rocket earlier, they'd have that for Bridge. So OpTic Gaming is going to be looking to shut it down right here, but Elevate with that early control.
Zed waiting for the poke, but it's going to be Formal on his flank. Easy kill for Formal, almost finds a second, or does he? Zed drop shots, picks up the kill, and now he's going to find a second on Karma. What a nasty play. We are seeing both teams embarrass each other. Elevate is going to retake the lead right here. It's 2:16 and counting to 2:15. This could be our, actually we have one more hill. We're going to see at least one more hill. Who is going to have the advantage going into the next rotation?
Guaranteed OpTic Gaming looking to get as much scrap time as possible. Reedy has other opinions on the matter. You see Karma making sure to stay alive. Keep in mind, has that active camo as well for any big plays coming out in the end, but still 15 seconds left. It looks like Elevate's trying to pick up that scrap, but that bridge rotation, most important one on the map.
Look at the payload. Scump's going to have his Krim 6 as well. Karma with the camo could be the decider in our final fights. It's coming down to this. The new hard point, it's on the bridge. Elevate is inside. They are scoring there within 15 points of upsetting OpTic Gaming.
OpTic Gaming, though, making the kills, the comeback. They just need 20 more on the board. Elevate. They have one good break to get on this hill. They need to take their time and set it up. You see all four players waiting for each other. They're going to make the moves at the exact same time. And again, Karma with that camo is going to pop it as well. Has the second player on the wall, but he has reacted. Karma comes out on top. 12 more seconds they need to get, and they will win this game.
OpTic Gaming needs to hold one more push. Watson sprinting to get into position. They have to contest. 3 seconds left. OpTic's gonna win the fight. It's formal, and it's 250-238. We are going to a game 5.
And again, Karma clutch with the camo. That is insane. I mean, just to get that battle of you're killing the player that has reactive. So that is just that payload matchup. And again, Karma, how many times have you seen, pretty much since even specials back in Black Ops 3 were a thing, he has always been the man that comes up with those clutch plays. But OpTic Gaming, way more interesting than they certainly would have liked. But in the end, they get that win. And you see Zed's actually getting kind of weird hyped up.
Yeah, Watson over there, he's pumping his chest. Zed, he's calm, he's ready. And then you got Rated, who just knows he let the team down. He's the guy who needs to get that camo. He had the slowest game. Your star, your big slayer, wasn't able to keep pace. But you know, we just saw some of the best gameplay from Zed. He was mentioning he was playing with a broken controller on day 1 and 2. He had a scuff towards the end of the day 2, and now this feels like a totally different player. When we go into a Respawn versus OpTic Gaming, it's weird to say that it's an even matchup going up against Elevate.
Pretty crazy as well. And keep in mind, that would have been a 3-1 in Elevate's favor. OpTic would have fallen off, but OpTic, how many times have their backs been against the wall and they just make these insane comebacks? But game 5 is going to go back to that search and destroy. Elevate. They already won the first one, so.
Don't write off Elevate yet. Will they be able to seal the deal? Game 5 is coming up next when we return. The #1 team in the world is going to Game 5 against the squad that is at the bottom of our green group, Elevate, pulling off the near impossible. They've looked so good here on day number 3, and a team that everyone wrote off at the end of day 2 is now playing for a chance to lock in a spot not only in the Anaheim groups, but also a position in Stage 2 and Call of Duty Championships here to close out our year. This matchup is going to be massive. Can they get their first series win against our #1 team?
It's feasible. It's definitely feasible. It's breakout, search, and destroy. That's what it all comes down to. Question, how often do you think OpTic has practiced on this map? I'd be willing to bet they've played it once, ever, and that was probably yesterday, and they lost 6-3. So they're kind of learning as they go. The search and destroy practice, yes, they're mixing up strats, but again, breakout's the new one. Meanwhile, the EU guys, well, they've had nothing to do but think about how to play breakout, search and destroy, and they've had this weekend to prepare.
And now, to be fair, Elevate came into the weekend saying we've never even played this map.
Well, yeah.
We've never scrimmed it. We've never practiced it. Their first time was against Red Reserve, and it was a very close series. But when they matched up against Enigma 6 yesterday, they showed us something special. They were able to adapt. They've been learning as they play this map, and they were able to take down E664. Meanwhile, OpTic Gaming on Breakout had a tough time versus Red Reserve. So for me, this is going to be a coin flip. It's going to come down to how well does Karma play, how is Rated playing, will they be able to get the camos when it goes into round 10, maybe even another round 11.
We also have the opportunity to see how much they adapt from kind of play styles and strategies other teams have put forth, see how much they can learn. Of course, Rated, he's going to have that kind of battle against Formal. Just for positioning is all he's looking for here. Elevate, playing very, very slow. They're waiting for an opening on the map before they make a move.
Formal, of course, calling out Rated, who is your bomb carrier. And Elevate is going to try and work their way through the middle. At the start of the weekend, they were always challenging the wall run. Now, it looks they have switched things up. Rated is going to be making his way into A as OpTic all rotates around to B, so this is perfect timing here for Elevate.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they got spotted as well. Formal was going to be the guy looking for information. Meanwhile, Reed's going to get a pick, and Formal's going to fall as well. So, well, Bomb's going to go down. Elevate, they're in a fantastic spot. They're going to get the next kill as well. Crimson at 1v4, and there's going to be nothing cooking. Able to find a kill, but Elevate, they would have to actively work to throw this round away.
Zed had like 3 double kills in the whole tournament coming into this day. Today, he has been on fire. He finds 2 in our first round. It's all up to Crim 6 here, but going up against 3 people, this round might as well be over. Aside from a miracle, Crim is going to find one, shuts down Reedy, looking for a second here.
Yeah, Crim's just honestly playing for kills. Obviously, he is going to get cut down. That bomb doesn't go off, so that plus 125 does not pop up. But either way, very convincing round from Elevate. You see they were able to get into showers, get the bomb down. And again, those first bloods are absolutely gigantic, especially on such a fresh map.
Keep your eyes on Zed as well. He's already got 3 kills, could be working on score streaks. Trinity Rockets over at B could be devastating. And he'll get a chance now to defend. Defender's advantage for Zed, but it's OpTic on the attack. They get to dictate where you're going to be playing on this side of the map, and it looks like they want to go 3 on the perimeter, sending just Crim6 through the middle.
Yeah, and you see Zed's actually going to be the only player over here for Elevate on the defensive stand, so look for him to make some plays. He's been that first blood wizard for his team so far. He's going to have to sniff out if these OpTic players are here. It looks like he might know something's up, waiting to make a move. The bomb's going to go down. Crim, meanwhile, is actually going to get the first blood, though. Zed's going to trade. He's going to have another player challenge. Scump going to make sure to lock that one up for the trade, so advantage to OG. Scump, he's continuing the carnage as well.
Rated on your screen is going to fall at the hands of Crim, and this round is over. OpTic Gaming ties it right back up.
Fantastic round. You see the difference in play styles coming out from these two teams. Elevate on offense took all the time in the world waiting to get information on offense before they make their move. OpTic's like, nah, I'm just going to go Planet Showers and then beat you with gun skill right after. And again, Crim, it's been the battle. He was doing fantastic on throwback as well for OG, getting first bloods. He's able to do so there. So 2 for 2. Whoever gets that first blood is able to win the round.
Enigma 6 watching on as this match plays out. General and crew looking forward to their rematch against OpTic Gaming to close out day number 3, and that match will likely decide who is #1 here in our green group. Reedy looking for an early pick with the sniper. All 8 players still up, of course. Meanwhile, it looks like the bomb is going to be moving its way towards B. Rated, your carrier, once again, is looking for that plant. That's a guaranteed 100 points. That'll go towards his camo.
Well, OpTic right now is pretty much in a fantastic position on the map. They have complete control of mid-map. The only thing they've given up is that B bomb site, but you can already see Formal wrapping back to check it. So OpTic, this is a round for them to win. Elevate's going to have to make something happen, but again, Formal, number 7 on the minimap. He's going to be the guy that's sniffing this out.
Formal's going to spot it first, then it's going to be up to Scump as well as Crim6 to hit the spiral. Here come the OpTic players. Scump's going to stop the bomb plant. Crim finds Zed, and now it's going to be Scump looking for the final 2 kills. Only Reedy on the flank left alive. Scump just powered his way through with the E-Rad.
And that's going to be a very convincing round 1. Elevate. They played that like some crazy men, honestly. They went for the plant, but they didn't watch stairs. I have no idea why you give up one of the only 3 possible choke points when you got 4 players alive on the map, and, well, OpTic Gaming just stormed through and ran them over.
I think it's a testament to just how scary Formal is. Everyone turning their attention to him. You saw Scump just weasel his way in, causing problems, stops the plant, and it's a free round for OpTic. Now they have a chance to pull away. They're on the attack, and last time they went to A, you saw the trade against Zed and then the cleanup done in the showers. 2 players stacked up in middle, and they're going to be looking out for Rated as well as Watson. Meanwhile, it's Zed all alone once again on the A bomb site. Reedy's going on a long flank, and he's going to be sniffed out by Crim.
Crim, again, first blood master. He's been watching the flanks. That's something I thought OG has kind of struggled with a little bit in Search and Destroy, but he has been on point, turning around. Gonna find the second as well. Crim, 7-1. Is there really much more to say? He's been a monster.
the ace.
Third, going for the 4th. That player's actually gonna get his position known over by Cave. So what more can you say? Get first blood, win the round. Crim, he's 3 for 4 right now.
Crimbot going off. We've seen incredible game 5s from Karma. I remember watching Crim way back in Ghost, dropping 20 kills in a Search and Destroy. The man is on a mission here on day 3. They do not want to lose their perfect record. 4-0 series count coming into today. This would make it 5-0 and set up that epic final match against Enigma 6. We got Reedy on your screen to open things up here for Elevate. He's just 1-4. He's been picked on his last 2 flanks. This time around, he's sticking with the team, and in fact, he's going to be the escort for Rated, who's going to be planting this bomb.
And this is actually a pretty smart play from Elevate as well. That Scarab's actually going to cause some problems. Reedy able to stay alive. In the past, he's been sniping. That means OG is going to back off to avoid getting picked. Now he pulls out the E-Rad to apply that pressure. However, that Scarab shuts everything down, and Scump able to get that first blood, win the round. OG trying to get their 4th.
Scump's the one who kind of turned off the momentum in favor of OpTic Gaming. That play on defense where he ran up the spiral. Now it's him getting first blood. Formal's going to find his second. That makes it a 3-on-2 man advantage to OpTic Gaming. And you're going to have Watson challenging at the top of the map. Meanwhile, it's Zed all alone at the bottom.
Watson not going to be able to get that first gunfight. His position is going to be known. You see Zed's trying to pinch the other door, but the problem for Elevate, that bomb is down. They only have 20 seconds to work with. They need to make something happen, and they're completely split right now as well. Scump still in the same positions, able to find one. Yes, Watson's behind enemy lines, but frankly, one player for OG just needs to stay alive, and they're going to be good to go. And Watson, he's just going to take that final jump off the map. OpTic Gaming, first blood, win the round. They got 4.
It's Scump streaked out. That's what we have to keep eyes on here. Scump picking up 7 straight kills. His second of the round with the E-Rad will pick up your round-ending kill cam. Elevate in a deep hole. They need to adapt. They need to adjust their gameplay now.
Gonna see, man. OpTic Gaming, they've been in full control so far on offense. They've been waiting for Elevate to make mistakes, and looks like they're gonna be switching up. They've been going to A in the past, but of course, with that Trinity rocket on board, if you get that bomb down at B and Scump's able to stay alive, that's a round win. Based on Scump's positioning, they might just call it in to scout information from the start. Not too sure what the play is going to be.
And if he does get some kills with this Trinity, he's going to be looking at the bombardment. And I think that's exactly what the game plan is here. They're going to try and scare him off B. Scump's going to be looking for some kills. You see Crim6 is going to find Watson. First blood again goes in favor of OpTic. Scump is going to get 25. So he has any interaction, basically, away from getting a bombardment, which could seal the deal here in Game 5.
And this is pretty much almost a guaranteed round win as well. Scump actually spotted that player crossing. He's going to call that out to his teammates, and he's still making sure that he can hold down this stairwell. They have all options covered. Elevate's going to have to make a storm, and it's going to be difficult to pull off. Now just a 1v, nothing actually.
He's got the bombardment. That's an assist.
And there you go. He's got the bombardment. They're up 5 rounds to 1. They've been getting first bloods like crazy, and Elevate has done nothing to gather a response.
What a turnaround here in this Game 5. OpTic Gaming taken to the ropes. They hold strong in hardpoint. They force the tiebreaker, search and destroy. Now they can finish it right here. Krim 10-2, Scump 8-1, leading the charge here for OpTic. Both players going off on Breakout.
Yeah, 18-3 combined is pretty good. There's really not much more you can say than they've been just having their way this game. Zed, well, he gets the first blood, but he gets a team kill as well. That has been a problem for the European team so far this week. It might hurt them here as well. Formal is going to pick up that kill, and that is daunting if you're an Elevate fan. That is just not a situation you want to have. OG is going to be trapping them in as well. Watson's able to pick up one. He's going to make the play and get two as well. Scump's going to challenge from the back, and well, Watson just goes off.
And I actually thought Scump was guaranteed the bombardment. You saw him in that last round kill feed. He was there involved with Krim 6 to pick up the final kill. He didn't get it, so he doesn't have that final score streak. Elevate, they're still in this one, but they have to win 4 straight rounds. That was a nice adaptation after losing a teammate. You had Zed picking up the kill on Krim, and they were able to finish things off over at Graves.
Yeah, definitely big plays. And a question is definitely going to be about those payloads. Scump's getting close to his reactive armor. Karma and Formal, though, they haven't done so much this game, frankly, because they haven't had to, but they're a little ways away from those payloads, and you see Zed. He's creeping up on his as he is 7-5.
A-bomb site is wide open. Elevate choosing to go with the 4-man stack, a strategy that has been very effective versus OpTic Gaming in the past. You see teams like E-United and Panda using it. First bloods are going to be traded out, but Karma's going to fall. It's all up to Krim 6 here. Krim in a 1v2. And Krim is going to get challenged. He's going to be outgunned. It's Watson picking up your final kill in the round. Elevate staying alive, and you see Zed. He is all smiles. Watson, he is looking ferocious right now.
And this is huge, honestly, for Elevate. Different players are stepping up. Different players are making plays. That round, it was Reedy. He gets that first blood, or I think the first blood got traded out instantly, but he picks up 2 more, and he's able to stay alive. So again, massive plays, but that's what Elevate is going to have to do. And you see he is able to earn that FTL as well. See if he can use it here.
Rated has been a non-factor up to this point in the game, nowhere near his camo. We talked about how important that would be. So now you're putting even more pressure on guys like Reedy and Zed. And Reedy's tagged up to open up this fight. 3 members from OpTic all stacked up at the showers. Reedy's outgunned by Scump's E-Rad. Kills being traded, but no, it's Watson picking off a teammate, and Formal will find Watson. Rated, who only has 1 kill through the 9 rounds, is the last man standing in a 1v3.
I believe Rated has said in the past that he's the best S&D player in the world. He can make his case right here, get that 1v3 against OpTic Gaming when that bomb is down, but OpTic Gaming, they've got the setup, they've got every angle covered. Rated might actually get great timing, but no, the Scump E-Rad is going to be there to shut him down, and OpTic Gaming clutches up in the end.
Scump and Krim 6 dropping double digits. They were on point throughout this game. It's actually Karma who gets credit for the final kill, but OpTic Gaming regardless. They were looking sloppy in the middle of this one. It was a rough start, but they finished strong. What a powerhouse team we have here in Call of Duty.
Yeah. Great performances all the way around. And again, even some of their weaknesses, the uplink, yes, they did lose, but it was a very close game. Some unfortunate stuff happening there. Search and destroy, mixing it up quite a bit. Yes, they lost on Breakout. They probably haven't played it too much, but they're mixing up the strats. Krim has played completely different in Search and Destroy today than he has in the past, and he's been doing incredibly well. An insane amount of first bloods, both him and Scumpy, and another, well, masterful performance.
Fantastic stuff. Elevate, big props to them for even taking OpTic Gaming the distance here. They are looking phenomenal. Their up-point game is still very strong. Their Search and Destroy was on point early in that series, but right now, we got to hear from our winners. We got Karma on the main stage.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Damon Barlow, let's talk a little bit about that series. First off, Elevate played you really, really tough the first time through. Very close 3 games. Here you go the distance. What do you is it a matchup thing? Do they just play you tougher than other squads?
Well, that's what I was thinking going into this weekend. I know a lot of people, I think, doubted the Europeans, I don't know, just their talent. But every time we've played all these teams in our pool, we've had close games in previous tournaments. So, I mean, it's kind of expected, to be honest.
Well, yeah, the fantastic series, fun to watch. I'm going to rewind kind of the first hard point. They had complete control of Graveyard. It was very close early on. We don't see it a lot, but I saw you guys pull out double smokes. I believe it was you that pulled it out. Can you talk to me about what you were trying to do there? What's the game plan behind that? We don't see it a lot.
Well, usually you just want to like cut 2 of them off or cut some of them off and make it easier so you can slide to the dozer. Unfortunately, it didn't really work because they got the intro kill every time defending it. Sometimes that happens, but I think we played the rest of it pretty good.
Yeah, you absolutely did. Now, the other play I want to talk about for you that is very clutch, I want to talk about the hectic finish to the retaliation hardpoint. You're in, you have a player that's going to pop reactive on the bridge. You have camo. Talk me through that moment a little bit.
Right there, I really didn't know what to do, honestly. I was waiting to get a kill, and then I may have killed a guy top bridge. I'm not really sure, but then I went down to the wall run, and I didn't want to use my camo there, but the kinetic guy came, and I don't know. I was just trying to let it run down as long as I could, and eventually I was like, you know what, I have to shoot him. I had an MV4, and I didn't really think it was going to kill him, but it killed him, and we got some trades, and we won the game. And it was the first time we beat them on retail. I think they're probably one of the best retail teams in the game in hardpoint.
I actually walked over the desk. I think some of the people in the crowd heard me. I go, this series is over. Elevate's beat them twice on this map. It's one of their best maps. You guys clutched up. Congrats on the win, buddy. Good stuff. We'll toss it back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Maven. Of course, with that OpTic Gaming win, they hold on to that #1 spot in the group, but there is still plenty of action to be played today. But we'll break down that series, of course, starting off with map #1. It was 250 to 195 in OpTic Gaming's favor. I think the key thing you noted, TP, was just the difference that OpTic was playing cell block. They seemed to slow down a little bit.
It's some of the best Call of Duty we've seen this weekend, in my opinion, but the biggest thing I want to note on OG's style of play in hardpoint is I've critiqued them a lot in hardpoint, specifically of when they're holding. They get too aggressive, they push out too far, but their cell block holds on that breakout were very impressive to me, able to lock that down, and most importantly, get those score streaks going. You can see right there, 131 to 3. I think that makes my point a little bit clear.
It definitely does. Of course, Grave Elevate bounced back with an 86 to 13 difference, but it doesn't matter. 131 to 3. That is a huge difference. Apti, as well, you kind of heard Maven touch on those smoke grenades from Karma. Was that something that you kind of expected to see from him?
Yeah, I've seen teams in the past do it as well, just not really being used right now. I feel like you're going to see teams use it more often just because you can block that sight from the guy Dozer trying to watch the cross or from the guy top cave. And this allows you to slide, like Karma says, allows you to slide by the Dozer, which is the best play you got there, and then just try to, pinch him in and just get the kills.
One of the key moments of that game was right at the very end, rated one-off streaks, Merc. The game was, I believe, 190 to 186 in OpTic Gaming's favor. I mean, how'd you play that if you're ready? Did you play super slow for your streaks? I mean, what'd you do?
I think you have to. I guess the only argument would be was the nice hit with cell block, and OpTic did rotate first to it. I mean, it's kind of hard to bomb inside of a building, but we've seen it happen before. But yeah, it seemed rated. He was in a one-on-one in showers, and he ran into a nade, and that was just one of the things I believe App said. He's like, I would have played for kills so hard there. So just one of those things where maybe he picks up streaks, is allowed to sort of blow up that anchor in the back, allows them to break cell block instead of it being 131 to 3. So, just one of those plays where maybe it could have changed the tide, just not too sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think it definitely could have changed it, especially if they just contest the cell hill and, go to the cave hill. Streaks are so huge in cave. So if he has those streaks, it's a game changer, especially, like I said, if they get to cave and, they possibly could have won.
Then, of course, moving over to the search and destroy, goes the distance again. This time, however, it is Elevate that manages to get the win. And, I mean, I feel like there's so much talk about it. It goes all the way to the round 11. I mean, here's a look at our scoreboard. Karma goes 11 and 7, a 1.57 for him. But in terms of Elevate, what did they do right, in your opinion, their Apathy?
I just think they played as a team really, really well. I mean, there was one round, which I believe was round 5. It was a 3v3 situation. They rotate back to their base. They just camp their base instead of rotating completely to another bomb. They get a kill in their base, make it a 3v2 situation, and they wrap back to the A bomb. They get it down, and just they have numbers at that point, so it's a really easy round win.
I think one of the key things to note as well, Merc, was Elevate seemed afraid of defending the A bomb site. It was almost given for free for OpTic Gaming every round.
Yeah, I mean, it can be very difficult to hold that, especially OpTic. Formal's going to be sniping it, so I believe they were just trying to work flanks. They were trying to work middle, which is what you have to do. You have to isolate Formal, allow him not to pick up any picks, and they tried doing a good job on it, but Krim was making such clutch plays on the flank throughout their offensive rounds, which made it very difficult to do.
And I think actually something to note was Krim was playing it really well. He was picking up with the late flanks. He was holding it. But round 11, he gets first blooded because they know he's doing that. So instead of just doing the same thing, they actually all 4 hit the B bomb and kill Krim, and it's just a big kill for them.
Of course, Karma as well. He was in many 1v1 situations. Something you noted, TP, was he just getting a little bit unlucky? It felt like, you feel as if Karma is one of those players who is going to win those 1v1s the majority of the time, but it just didn't go his way.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and I think I have to give Elevate props to getting those trades down so quickly, to not let Karma have that time in those 1v1s, because if you give that guy time, he's going to make you look silly. But there were several situations in those 1v1s. I think that one round where he hopped up on the train and basically died for free, just sort of confusing situations happening. So maybe just timing not on Karma's side in those ones, but Elevate They adapt on the rounds. They rotate where they need to rotate, and most importantly, catch Crim in that round 11. So impressive stuff from them.
Well, series tied at 1-1 at that point as we head into map number 3, and this one went Elevate's favor as well. It was a 6-5 victory, and one thing that you noted, Merc, was OpTic just seemed still slow with the drone. That their uplink play this weekend hasn't been the best.
Well, I think you'd sort of say all year. It just seems to just be a little bit slow with moving that drone control, and you can hear it. You can hear it when we're on stage. You can hear Karma say, I'll get the drone, I'll get the drone. He's always the one sort of hitting, you know, look, he has 4 of those points, and I think that affects his game because he's always the one dying. I mean, one of those dunks, he picks up a 2-pace, then he has to get the drone, dunks it in. Just seems like they don't move, you know, their kills with the drone very well. It's something I think they have to work on.
And one of the key points there for Elevate as well, Apathy, was they actually outslayed OpTic Gaming for the win.
Yeah, you usually don't see that versus a team like OpTic, right? OpTic's always outslaying most teams, but Elevate, you know, does it back. They actually outslay OpTic, and it's really tough for a team like OpTic who, you know, rely heavy on kills to, you know, do something without their kills, and Elevate just shut them down.
It wasn't all just about the kills, Teep. Who impressed you the most on the Elevate squad?
I think early in that game, Watson was making these game-changing plays. He had those first 3 points in that first half for Elevate, where he's in this isolation situation. He got a beat down once, sneaking through underpass for one of the first ones they got on the board. So the fact that he's able to make that, well, that's not a good play. I didn't like that one at all. But overall, the first half is what I was really focusing on, where they're scoring points every single time they have a chance. And that's one of the biggest difference makers that I've seen in Uplink, especially throughout this stage 1, where teams have this opportunity to score and they make some sort of terrible decision to mess it up. Elevate wasn't doing that.
Well, heading into map number 4, it was match point for Elevate as they were up 2-1 in this series. And it basically all came down to that final hill, Apathy. That 1v1 is something that you noted as well. I mean, how could that have gone differently, do you think?
Well, Zed pops Kinetic, you know, Karma gets a kill on the wall run, pops Camo, and then Zed makes a good play by popping Kinetic, because usually you're not going to kill Camo while he's, you know, in Camo, because it's basically he has like a second extra to shoot you. And the Kinetic was a good play, but unfortunately, not sure what happened, but Zed loses that gunfight. It felt like he missed his shots or maybe got caught off guard. And if Zed wins that gunfight, he's able to stay alive in that wall run, that grass area, and lets his team come, you know, help him, and it would have been a good pinch.
Our final score was 250 to 238, but I believe we have Jack down on the telestrator to break down that final hardpoint. Jack, over to you.
All right, listen up. I know we've got ourselves a lot of talent. Oh, look, it's still, I know they're handsome, but you got to bring the camera to me. There's a lot of combined earnings between those 3 on the analyst desk, right? Something like $800,000+, but I'm the one with the real knowledge and a career earnings of $62. So I'm gonna be the one to really break this down for you, give you the deep analysis you all deserve at home. Let's roll the clip, the final hard point of that map. So you can see 225 to 225, a very close game. Elevate on the verge of potentially taking the series, but then Papa Karma came into play with the Camo here coming up. Both teams trying to flood, get control of this hill. You can see early on, it was Elevate, but the pinch that develops for OpTic Gaming lets them collapse onto Elevate and force the spawns out towards this back bus side. Even with them still at a deficit, they're doing whatever they can just to keep Elevate as far as possible from this hard point. Here's the moment we're talking up. Karma does clean up one top bridge, immediately pops the Camo. Zed uses his reactive armor, which helps Karma cut down a major payload for Elevate. The swing happens right there to not only give OpTic Gaming the lead, but full control of the setup again. As they wind up closing this map out in the final seconds, you can see those far out spawns really secure the deal. But now, bring it back on over to me. They want to see my handsome face, so here's your map, right? Karma winds up getting the kill towards this top bridge and instantly reacts to Zed. Whether he realized he had reactive armor or not, it was the correct time to use that Camo payload. With that little time left, Karma just pops it mid-reload and knows not to panic. Wait for the right time to engage, gets the shots down range, and he knows they're just 12 seconds from winning. So what does he do immediately after? With Zed now dead, Karma flies into the hard point and holds behind the front car for cover. Everyone on the side of Elevate is spawning towards this lower street side, towards this back broken area. Watson just flew across the map, and they're just trying to flood back to this hard point. Guess what? When you've got the likes of Karma and the rest of OpTic Gaming in full control of this area, there's really no teams that can break back in with that little time. Karma with the big Camo play gets them to the game 5, where OpTic Gaming then clutch it up to remain a perfect 5-0. I don't know half the stuff I just said on here. I hope you guys can help me break it down some more as well.
Thanks, Jack. Good job. Was that good analysis?
It was good. He broke it down really good.
Okay, so career earnings not meaning too much of a difference there, but good job, Jack, on the telestrator, of course. But moving forward, you hear him talk about that game number 5. We do go the distance. I mean, in terms of the game 5, I was going to say, Merc, I want to get your immediate kind of opinion. It starts off 8-1 for Crim in 3 rounds, right? And you're thinking, okay, when Crim's 8-1, that's bad news.
Yep.
Then Scump goes 8-1 as well in, I think it was 4-1 in 5 rounds. I mean, I feel like you can't do that if you're Elevate. You can't give them such a good start.
No, absolutely not. And Crim6 has been one of the, if not the most clutch player in Call of Duty history. We used to call him Mr. Game 5, and he was it's just the way he sort of roams around the map. He always knows the position to put himself in. Starts off 8-1, you know, gives them, what, a 3-4-1 lead, and it's hard for Elevate to bounce back into this game.
And in terms of OpTic Gaming within this game 5, it just felt like they had so many first bloods.
Yeah, so like you said, you know, Crim is just so good on lurking and just using that information his team gets to get the first blood. They usually play the passive at first. You know, they would have some sort of way to get the information from middle or the other lanes, and then they would move up, you know, get a first blood, and then just work trades from there.
Of course, one of the things you noted as well, Teep, was the OpTic Gaming defending A. It seemed like it was the best you've seen so far.
Well, we've seen so many times on Breakout this weekend specifically where if the team does get that bomb down at showers, the other team doesn't have any sort of chance. So OpTic Gaming does a great job of adapting that situation. And if you want to learn how to play defense on that one, watch exactly what Scump was doing with that ERAD. If you can just hit those slides and hit those timings, number one, you gain information inside of the room.
Right.
And number two, you can catch that timing on the guy on the outside. How many times did you see Seth either sliding or strafing in to get that first kill into the bomb site? When you can do that so many times, it's impressive.
Well, day 3 of the final week of Stage 1 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League kicked off with a fantastic Game 5. OpTic Gaming holding on to that #1 spot of the group for now. Up next, however, it is a must-win for both teams. For E6, it could be the difference between the #1 or the #2 seed. For Red Reserve, they could still have a shot at playoffs with a 3-0 result. We'll be right back after this.